Assalamu alaikum. Our today's topic is quality, written by John Galsworthy. I'll be discussing today its theme and summary. Let me tell you something about its writer, that is John Galsworthy. Dear students, John Galsworthy was born in 1867 and he died in 1933. He was an English novelist and playwright of the early 20th century. He gave up a profession in law for a career in writing. His notable works include The Forsyte Saga and its sequels, a modern comedy, and End of the Chapter. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1932. Let us discuss the theme of the story. The students, the theme of the story, Quality, by John Galsworthy, is commitment, determination, loyalty, honesty, dedication, and loss. Every worker is an artist if he loves his work. Every worker is an artist if he loves his work and is immersed in it. The students, the theme of the story is that a craftsman can't face competition from industry. A craftsman can't face competition from industry. He produces goods of the best quality but does not compromise on quality. He does not give up his principles for making easy money. When he has to face stiff competition from factories, he is thrown out of work and livelihood and finally face death. When he has to face stiff competition from factories, he is thrown out of the work and livelihood and finally face death. Gessler brothers are such craftsmen. They make shoes of the best quality. The author of the story is their regular customer. With the advent of industry, they face a slump in work. Their customers also deserted them. Gessler brothers fail to change with the changing times and prefer death to quality of their art. The author asks readers. The author asks readers to feel for those true craftsmen who value quality. The author asks readers to feel for those craftsmen who value quality, as the title suggests. Let us discuss the summary of the story. The narrator knew Mr. Gessler from the days of his early youth, and his father used to get his shoes made by him. The narrator knew Mr. Gessler from the days of his early youth, and his father used to get his shoes made by him. Mr. Gessler's shop was in a small street in the West End without any signboard. Mr. Gessler was highly skilled in the art of shoe making. He worked with utmost sincerity and devotion. The shoes he made were wonderful and they never failed to fit well. Mr. Gessler made shoes on order. The shoes lasted a long time, so the customers did not have to go to his shop often. One went to Gessler's shop as one went to church. When a customer went to the Gessler brothers shop for placing an order for making shoes, one had to wait for Mr. Gessler. He would slowly come to attend the customer. He would slowly come to attend the customer. He would stand before the customer without the coat, a little bent in leather apron and sleeves turned around. He seems to have been awakened from a dream of boots. He seems to have been awakened from a dream of boots. Once the writer told Mr. Gessler that the last pair of boots creaked. Mr. Gessler told the author to send those shoes and he would find the problem. However, a feeling of concern for his creaking boots was clear. In making shoes, Mr. Gessler ensured not only durability of boots but comfort for the customer also. Firms doing just opposite posed a great threat to his business, but he could not compromise on quality. His business started to decline. The narrator went to Mr. Gessler after 2 years. He saw the outside of one of the two little windows of his shop. Another name was painted, also that of a bootmaker. He asked Mr. Gessler what he had done to his shop. Mr. Gessler informed him that running his shop had become too expensive. He asked the narrator if he wanted some boots. The narrator ordered 3 pairs, though he needed only two. After a few months, when the narrator went to his shop, he inquired about his health. After a few months, when the narrator went to his shop, he inquired about his health. He said that he was very well, but his elder brother had passed away. He said that he was very well, but his elder brother had passed away. He looked very aged and wrinkled. The narrator ordered several pairs of boots, though this time Mr. Gessler took a lot of time in sending them. Narrator found them better than ever. After 1 year, he went to Mr. Gessler's shop again. He had left a man of 60, but he now looked to be a man of 72. After 1 year, he went to Mr. Gessler's shop again. He had left a man of 60, but now he looked to be a man of 75. The narrator again ordered several pairs of boots. When the narrator received the boots, he tried them on. As usual, the boots were perfect in every respect. As usual, the boots were perfect in every respect. The writer wrote a check and posted it at once. A week after the writer went to the Gessler brothers' shop. He wanted to tell him that the boots had fitted him very well. He found his name was gone from the shop. A week after the writer went to the Gessler brothers' shop, he wanted to tell him that the boots had fitted him very well. He found his name was gone from the shop. In two little shops made into one was a young man. The author went in and asked about Mr. Gessler. The young man informed him that Mr. Gessler was dead. In fact, he died of slow starvation. Thank you.